Gallery experience. What your favorite painting says about you. Have you ever walked into a gallery and immediately fallen in love with one particular painting? You may not know the artist. You may not know the history. You may not even know why you like it. But something about it makes you stop. You look at it longer than the others. You come back to it. Maybe you imagine it hanging in your home. And sometimes you wonder, why this painting? Why did this one speak to me? Why did I ignore the painting next to it? Why did someone else love a completely different artwork? The answer may have something to do with you, because when we look at art, we are not simply looking at the artwork. We are also bringing our own memories, emotions, experiences, and personality into the experience. Think about a landscape. One person may see a beautiful sunset. Another may see loneliness. Someone else may remember their childhood. Another person may think about a place they once traveled. The painting hasn't changed. The viewer has changed. Our memories become part of what we see. This is one of the reasons art can feel so personal. Now imagine someone who is attracted to quiet paintings. Soft colors, empty spaces, a single figure sitting alone. They may say, I just find this peaceful. Perhaps they are naturally drawn to calm environments. Or perhaps the painting reminds them of a particular moment in their life. Maybe they have experienced a period when they needed solitude. The painting becomes more than an image. It becomes an emotional connection. Now consider someone who loves dramatic paintings. Strong colors, movement, large figures, deep shadows, intense expressions. They may be attracted to energy and emotion. They may want artwork that immediately fills a room with presence. Again, there is no right or wrong answer. Different personalities can respond to completely different visual experiences. And then there is color. Color can have a powerful emotional effect. Some people are naturally attracted to warm colors. Reds, oranges, yellows. They may find these colors energetic and welcoming. Others prefer blues, greens, and cooler tones. They may experience them as peaceful or contemplative. But color is also connected to memory and culture. A particular color might remind you of your childhood home, a dress someone wore, a landscape, a season, person, a special place. That is why two people can look at the same color and have completely different emotional reactions. Now let's talk about portraits. Why do some people love portraits while others prefer landscapes or abstract art? Perhaps they are interested in people. Perhaps they are curious about personality. Perhaps they want to imagine the story behind the face. A portrait can create a strange relationship between the viewer and the person in the painting. The person may have lived hundreds of years ago, and yet you are standing there looking directly at them. You begin wondering, who were they? What were they thinking? What kind of life did they have? What happened after this portrait was painted? A portrait can make history feel personal. Now think about abstract art. Some people love it. Others look at it and say, I don't see anything. But abstract art can reveal something interesting about the viewer. If you enjoy abstraction, perhaps you are more interested in color, movement, texture, rhythm, or emotion than in recognizable subjects. You don't necessarily need a face or a landscape to connect with a painting. You may respond to how the artwork makes you feel. And that is perfectly valid. Art doesn't always have to tell a literal story. Sometimes it communicates through sensation. Now let's consider something more surprising. Why do some people prefer paintings that make them uncomfortable? You might expect everyone to want beautiful, peaceful artwork. But many people are attracted to dark or disturbing images. They may love dramatic lighting, stormy landscapes, aging faces, lonely figures, strange compositions, even frightening subjects. Why? Because emotions are not limited to happiness. Sometimes we want art to challenge us. Sometimes sadness feels honest. Sometimes darkness is beautiful. Sometimes a disturbing painting gives us a safe way to explore feelings we don't normally talk about. Art can allow us to look at difficult emotions from a distance. And perhaps that is one reason people become deeply attached to certain paintings. The artwork becomes a mirror, not necessarily a mirror of what we look like, a mirror of how we feel. Now think about your own favorite painting. What is it? Is it a portrait? A landscape? A nude figure? An abstract composition? A still life? A photograph? A sculpture? And more importantly, why? Don't answer too quickly. Look at it carefully. What is the first thing that attracts you? The color? The face? The lighting? The composition? The subject? The mood? The story? The mystery? Then ask yourself another question. How does the painting make you feel? Calm? Excited? Nostalgic? Sad? Curious? Comforted? Uncomfortable? Inspired? That feeling may tell you something. And then ask, does the painting remind me of someone? Does it remind me of a place? Does it remind me of a period in my life? Sometimes our favorite artwork isn't really about the artwork. It is about the memory we attach to it. This is why buying art can be so personal. A collector may not buy the most expensive painting. They may buy the painting that reminds them of home, or a person they loved, or a place they visited, or a moment they never want to forget. The financial value may be important, but emotional value can be even stronger. And this explains something interesting about galleries. Two people can walk into the same exhibition. One person walks out excited about a particular painting. The other person doesn't notice it at all. Neither person is necessarily wrong. They are simply seeing through different experiences. This is why artists should be careful about saying, everyone should love my painting. They won't, and they don't have to. The goal isn't necessarily to make everyone love your work. The goal may be to find the people who connect with it. One person may walk past your painting. Another may stop. Another may stare at it for several minutes. And another may say, this reminds me of my mother. That person has found something in your artwork that belongs to their own life. That is powerful. So the next time you visit a gallery, try an experiment. Don't look at the wall and ask, which painting is the best? Instead ask, which painting pulls me toward it? Which one makes you stop? Which one makes you curious? Which one do you remember after you leave? And then ask yourself, why? You may learn something about the artist, but you may also learn something about yourself. Because perhaps our favorite paintings are not random. Perhaps they reveal the emotions we seek, the memories we carry, the beauty we recognize, the questions we have, and sometimes, the parts of ourselves we don't fully understand. So what does your favorite painting say about you? Maybe more than you think. The next time you stand in front of a painting and feel that mysterious connection, don't walk away too quickly. Stay, look, ask yourself why. Because sometimes the artwork isn't simply telling you a story. It is telling you something about yourself. This is the gallery experience.